sitting here with writer, editor, and director John Sayles. Welcome to Savannah.
Thank you.
So you began your career as a writer, novels, screenplays, television. So how has that informed your work as a director?
You know, I think the thing that informs it the most is that I was an actor before I did any of those things professionally. And, you know, the main things that you do as an actor is think about how does this character see the world differently than the way that I, as myself, see the world. And so when I write characters, it's important that they speak differently, they act differently, and a lot of that's because they see the world differently. There's things that they don't even see, don't care about, and then things that really bug them or really, you know, capture a lot of their attention. And that's something that you have to do as a writer, and it's something you have to do as a director, is remember that everybody in the world has their own agenda, and part of the reason they have their own agenda, and it may be different than somebody else's, is they don't even see the same world. You know, they're not starting with the same basic assumptions.
Part of your career that a lot of people don't know is that you work on other scripts to help them, such as Apollo 13 and Mimic. So can you tell me about how you get involved with that, and like how the script starts and what you do to help it?
Yeah, well, I hope I help it. You know, it's basically being a screenwriter for hire, and what that means, you know, there's a phrase called being a script doctor, which is not exactly accurate. Sometimes I'm the first writer on the project. They just come to me with an idea, or they bought a book, or you know, they want to remake a movie that was made years ago. Sometimes screenplays have already been written and they want to change them in some way, and we talk about where they want to go with it or what they want to have be better. Sometimes it really is just a polish, and they say, well, don't change the plot, we just want the dialogue to be better, or we want this character to be more interesting, or whatever. So each time out I have a different mandate from the people who are hiring me. In the case of Apollo 13, a lot of what they were asking me to do was actually make the screenplay that they had more like what actually happened, and a little less Hollywood, a little less imaginary, and to bring some of the science back into it. They felt like the audience could handle the scientific part of it if it was, you know, put in the right way, dramatized in the right way. But on another project, it might be a totally different, you know, thing that they need me to do. So a lot of it is problem solving.
What advice do you have for students who want to be a working screenwriter?
Well, one thing is to not just write one script, is to, you know, I always feel like you should write 4 or 5 things in different genres. When I first started out, I had a couple movies that I had written that were contemporary stories and could be made for very little money, were just about people you might know everywhere, dramas. I also had a historical kind of epic movie that took place in 1919 and another that took place in 1920. I had one script that was funnier, one that was more serious. So I had about 5 scripts that I've written, and you know, so I think it's always a good idea is to not put everything, you know, put all your effort into one screenplay, but not have that be the only thing that you pass out.
So your new film, Honey Dripper, it's about the birth of rock and roll in the South. So I'm wondering how you got involved with it or inspired to make it.
Those years of rock and roll, before it was called rock and roll, you know, were interesting to me. I like that particular music, which was actually a little before I was born, that I kind of discovered later. I went backwards into music to find it. But I was also very interested in this phenomenon of when there's a big change like that within any world. It could have been when the movies went from silent movies to talkies, or, you know, when Jackie Robinson was the first African-American ball player in the major leagues. What happens to the people who don't want to go there, or can't go there, or get left behind for whatever reason? And who are the people that, you know, can't do it, and who are the people who won't do it? And what does that decision cost you?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.